Disclaimer: the following stories actually haven't happened to me and can be scary. Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Have you ever had a frightening, terrifying, petrifying, spine-chilling, alarming, spooky, or scary experience before? If your answer is no, I can't relate. Now that's not necessarily unfortunate because I can make a video out of it. What up boys, ChocoWolf here and welcome to the 2022 Halloween special. I've had spooky stuff happen to me before, and that makes for great entertainment. Before I get into them though, they're all supposedly Jinn stories. In case y'all don't know what jinns are, they're creatures in Islam who are invisible to the eye. Made of flames, they are similar to humans. They have the ability to take the form of humans or animals. They also have the ability to possess humans. Although they're invisible to the human eye, they can show themselves to you. You can also feel their presence. Many ways to know, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. Now that you have a rough idea of what a jinn is, let's get into the stories. Let's start off small and end with low-key concerning stuff. Keep in mind that jinns lurk in the dark and won't really show themselves in the light, which is why all these stories take place late at night or really early in the morning. The first story takes place at around 3 a.m. I'm just doing my thing, you know, how them 3 a.m. shits be. I'm in the bathroom and I'm chilling, really. No worry on my mind. Until I see the door handle violently shake. It was loud and whomever was outside definitely needed it more than I did. But then it just stopped. I finished up, left the bathroom to see nobody was there. The way my house is built is that there's a hallway, and at the end of the hallway there's the bathroom I was in. So I'm basically standing in a dark hallway, confused who was trying to break the door down. But there was nobody in sight. I didn't think much of it at first, so I just stayed up for a little bit longer and just headed to sleep. In the morning, when I asked my family who was in dire need of the bathroom that early in the morning, no one had a clue what I was talking about. No one woke up throughout the night. It was just me. Which begs the question, who was shaking the door handle? It made no logical sense, which is why I am blaming it on the jinns. For the next story, I'm in the living room, chilling, listening to music. Now, I'm thirsty, so I get up and go to the kitchen so I can get myself a glass of water. While in the kitchen, I hear the furniture in the living room squeaking. The sofa is making sounds, the table's making sounds. It sounded like someone was either moving or sitting on the furniture. I didn't think much of it, could have been my imagination, so I sit back in the living room. Until literally a minute later, I hear something fall in the kitchen. A spoon? I thought to myself, questioning why I was halfway across the kitchen from where it's supposed to be. This had me questioning the squeaky furniture too. The jinns gotta be messing with me. That was my cue to leave. After all of that, I thought, man, maybe it's best to just get some sleep. So I went into my room and tried to fall asleep. But the noises from the living room didn't exactly help. The next story is similar to the previous one. It happened in the kitchen while I was in the living room. I think the kitchen is where he chills. By he, I mean the jinn, because all the spooky shit happens there. Anyways, this time instead of listening to music, I was editing a video, and the way I was seated is that the kitchen was to my right, like around 7 to 8 steps away from me. I heard the kitchen door slightly open, but I had my headphones in, so I thought maybe I was just hearing things. The door was already halfway open, but it just slightly opened more. I hadn't noticed this yet, so I continued to just edit until I noticed from the corner of my eye that the kitchen lights turned on. Now, I was sure I was in the middle of a horror movie. I'm looking directly at the kitchen and the lights turned off. This is when my heart started beating at my chest. I was just frozen still. The lights turned back on and I knew I had to get out of here. All this happening couldn't be a coincidence anymore. I just rushed out my house. I didn't even wait for the elevator. I took the stairs, almost tripping on some of the steps. Everything just slowed down for me. and my hearing was muffled. Until I left the building, I couldn't stop running. Eventually, I came to this one shop that was open 24/7, and I just stood outside there for a minute, trying to catch my breath. I checked my pockets and found some change. I walked into the shop to buy a bottle of water, left the shop and decided to just walk back home. I had nothing on me, no phone, no wallet, nothing. When I got slightly closer to my house, I started feeling like I was being watched. I looked around and there was no one in sight. There was nobody in the area. My heart started beating faster again, but I didn't stop walking until I heard my name get called. I felt chills up my spine and I slowly turned around, and it was just standing there looking at me. He stood tall at maybe 6'3". He was skinny built. His skin was gray and ashy. I was just frozen still. I couldn't move my body. He raised his arm and brought his hand closer to my face, pulled his finger out and touched my forehead. And that's the last thing I remembered before waking up on the sidewalk. I don't know how long I was out for, and I was just really confused when I woke up. It was still dark outside, so I decided to head back home. Everything seemed normal, so I decided to just head to bed then. Before I got back into my room, I heard something, footsteps from behind me. I turned around and to my surprise, I was followed back home. Anytime you see something lurking in the dark, it could be one of them. So always stay on guard and maybe turn around.